Hi everyone, welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for joining us here today. It's excellent to have you here as always, and thanks for watching. Today, we're talking night vision. And my idea for today's video is simply to sit down and talk about this thing and how I plan to use it. If it sounds a little bit acoustic in here, I apologize. It is a concrete room and it's a little bit bigger than the vault room is, as well as there's no sound dampening, so I apologize. Anyway, this is a Generation 3 PVS-14. And we're just going to walk through the various components of it, how it works, all that sort of stuff, and some of the accessories that I have here. And we're going to assemble it, get it on the helmet. So at first look, there's just a couple controls. Over here on this side is the power control, so on off. And then over here is the gain. So this is basically if you're getting blown out because there's too much ambient light bouncing around, you can dial that gain back, increase your contrast, that sort of stuff. On the front is a cap with a small aperture in it, and the purpose of that is to be able to function check this thing under normal lighting conditions. This is an auto-gated unit, but auto-gating is like a safety. It shouldn't be something that's relied on. It's bad for a unit to expose it to lots of light. So function checking during the daytime, cap on. And then of course rear cap. Now on the front and the rear are focus rings. So you can focus the objective, you can focus the rear lens by using these two dials right here. I have another accessory that we're going to talk about later that I currently have on order that I'm going to probably be adding to this, but I digress. Anyway, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the sacrificial window on this. And this is literally what it looks like. It is a piece of plastic that is designed not to interfere with your image at all, and it is literally there to protect that front lens. And sacrificial because if you run into something, hopefully it dies and not your lens. It is just a press fit on there. It's got rubber around the side. You can see it's fairly flexible there, and just some hard plastic in there. So we're just going to take that and just smash it right there on front. And now we have a shield on that. I hate these. I absolutely hate these, but they do help with the back blast a little bit from the light. This is just an eye cover. It just kind of like smooshes on there right like that. This is a deems shield, and it goes exactly where you would think it would go. It's basically a sacrificial lens for the rear, the ocular lens. And the reason it is there is this is basically a fog-resistant glass. And because the lens that we're usually looking through is recessed, this kind of pushes it out towards the exterior of the housing and allows you to clean it rapidly if necessary. If there's any figments or anything on there, you can wipe it off and you don't have to worry about scratching your interior lens. So this is a press fit, and just lay it right in there. And the housing is made out of plastic. You just kind of push it in there, snap it into place right like that, and now it protrudes out ever so slightly around that. And I suppose if you wanted to, that eyepiece does fit on there. So now, as far as lenses and things are concerned, there are some other things that I'll get to here in just a second. Power source, 1 AA battery, goes in this way. You can see it's even got a designator on what direction the battery goes. Now, since I'm going to be helmet mounting this, go ahead and move this out of the way for just a second. This is a J-arm, and basically this allows you to offset it to which eye you want to run. This is set up for left eye, so it's going to sit like that, and then so this is designed so if it's sitting on your head like this, and then you flip it up, thing turns off. So I'm a big believer in securing things. So we've got just a little bit of blue Loctite here. Don't want to over smear this, but just a little dab there to keep that from walking out over time of use. This is a rhino mount, and this thing has two main functions. There's an articulation component to it. Allows it to flip up and down, so that's in the retracted position. This is in the down or in use position. And then it also allows you to set its horizontal relative to the direction of movement, spatial orientation. So you basically push that in or down, and it allows you to slide it forward or back to bring it closer or farther away from your face. So, helmet clips in, goes in the top right like that. Push, locked in. And then the way this thing works, we go back to our PVS, is there's a little lever there, and basically this thing is going to sit in there and click in. So that allows for you to basically, if I want to remove this for whatever reason, say I want to stow it for the night, I can leave the rhino mount on and just click that right off. Now, as far as other accessories that I have on order that we'll do an update on once that arrives, is I have what's called a focus ring. And basically it rides along the top of or side of the optic, depending on which one you purchase. The one that I purchased is actually a cap that moves, but it has a different lens in front, so you can set this thing for infinity, so out in engagement distance as far as focus is concerned, and then you can just flip that thing shut, and now it gives you like the 18-inch, working with your hands type thing, so you don't have to continuously readjust this focus here or here on the back. So that's coming, and then hopefully here pretty soon I'll have a way to give you guys a look through this device when I'm out doing stuff with it, so you can get real PVS-14 footage once that particular device shows up. Twofold on things that should be happening in the next day or so is I have a helmet ballast for the rear coming from SOE. It basically just velcros to the back of your helmet. It allows you to add a counterbalance to the back of the helmet because, as you can see, it's not a lot of mass, but having that little extra out in front makes the thing want to pivot forward a little bit. And having a little bit of weight in the back is good. I think I'm going to load it with alkaline cells for not only the unit, but also the laser illuminator for my rifle. This takes AA's, that one takes CR123s. And then lastly, somehow I'm going to make a lanyard for this thing. So if that mil-spec mount there decides to take a dump, that it won't go directly to the dirt. So you guys have heard me say this on more than one occasion. Things do not always go as planned. And last night was no different. So I went out, and my intention was to go out and do a whole bunch of filming with this thing because I had some other projects that needed some night work, specifically a couple cans that I wanted to go out and do some filming with. Well, I got out there, got my cameras all set up, all the stuff ready to rock and roll. Starts freezing and raining. And I tried, but I was having major audio issues, couldn't figure out what was going on, and I made the call to tear down before I got any filming done, because if I hadn't, I would have been in real trouble, because I got really cold. I'm still cold today. But the other thing that I noticed from trying to turn the camera on ever so slightly is that the infrared illuminator that allows you guys to see me in the IR mode on this camera is major. Like, it is more powerful than the infrared illuminator on this unit. So I'm going to do some testing really quick. Right now, I'm looking right at the camera and I'm powered off. And I kind of want to see if I can do that, but power on and look 90 degrees. And that way you guys can see what's going on and I can see what's going on, because it was beyond blinding as far as the light coming from the camera was concerned. And to make sure that I'm not screwing this up, I'm actually going to flip this shield back. And here we go. Powering on. And while it is amazing, so see if I can look in. This is so challenging. What if I do this? All right, you guys can't see it, but in the intro of the video, there was a whole bunch of lever action rifles on this wall over here. several of them are very shiny. It looks like somebody's shining a flashlight in the room. Now over here, this is all fine. Over there is very bright. The other thing that I want to do, turn on the illuminator, the extra illuminator on this, if you guys can see it. So let's see. If I look at this wall over here and I do this. So next, I want to see if you guys can get this. So that is a red laser. At least, yeah, that's red. Okay. Red laser. Now I'm going to go to off. Okay. So we're back off. And now this should be IR laser. I want to see if you guys can see that. I'm not entirely sure because I can't even see what's going on in the camera right now. So this should be IR illuminator. And actually it is this is how we learn things. This is totally obscured. Yeah, see the shape changed. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. This front sight on this guy is totally in the way for the illuminator. So I need to find a solution for this front sight here. And then this should be the two combined. And that looks like crap. So today's video was a little bit more anticlimactic than I would have liked it to have been. I would have loved to have gone out and done a whole bunch of filming and shooting and stuff like that to bring you guys along for the ride. It just wasn't in the cards. So my plan now is to do another update when I get something new for the setup. And really the inspiration for doing a video about night vision isn't to be like, hey, look at my cool stuff. No, it's to help advance the knowledge base, because while I have used night vision in the past, I've never owned my own. So with those minimal exposures, there's nothing that you can really add to the discussion other than like, hey, I did this once. Well, now I want to spend some intensive time with this stuff so that I can help you guys more thoroughly understand it. Just like I did when I got into the NFA game. And now I know a decent amount about suppressors and NFA related stuff to the point where y'all ask me questions all the time and we're able to get some solid answers. So I want to do the same thing for night vision, because I know that when I was shopping for this, there's so much information and it's so expensive that you don't want to get it wrong. And that's what I hope to do. So if you guys are interested in that, please sound off in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. It helps us beat the algorithm if you guys interact with the video, especially commenting and liking, sharing, and things like that. We greatly appreciate that. And if you feel so inclined, please consider supporting us on Patreon and Subscribestar, and we'll hopefully be able to get more videos like this out to you guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on a future video here at the VSO Gun Channel. Real funny story about that, actually, real quick. The last unit that I used had the control interface different, and I actually picked it up as though it was that one, and I had it backwards. So I was going to use it, and I'm like, this thing doesn't work. What am I doing wrong? And then I saw the backscatter from the lens on the wall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And then I, of course, immediately called several of my friends that kind of do stuff in this area, and I'm like, dude, listen to what I did today.